Welcome to Psychic Bent. My name is Carrie.
And I'm Kim. We are two sisters wanting to help other psychics learn and grow in their abilities and to help educate about spirits, angels, and everything psychic.
All right, listeners, welcome back to Psychic Bent. And today, Kim and I are going to be discussing astral travel. I'm not sure if it's a topic you're very familiar with. We have brought it up multiple times. And so we're doing a little light deep dive into astral travel. So, Kim, would you like to start us off?
Sure. I did want to start off with astral travel is also known as astral projection. So I originally only knew it as astral projection and then started calling it astral travel after we started doing our research on the different things for the podcast months and months ago. So I may be saying astral projection more than astral travel.
Same thing, though.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Now, astral travel, it refers to what's called an out-of-body experience. Your astral body or your soul leaves our actual physical body when this happens. It has many different names. It's called the subtle body, the dream body, the soul, like I said before. And I looked it up under Webster's dictionary as to what astral projection and astral travel were. And after I got done reading the definition, I'm like, okay, that was a little confusing. So I thought I'd throw that out there so you guys can get just as confused as I was whenever I read it.
I'm going to bump in here. I had purchased the book. I don't know if we've talked about psychic teachers on the podcast periodically. And Samantha Fay wrote a book on astral travel.
Oh.
And I purchased the book and I read it and I felt it was very enlightening. And when it came time to do the research, guess what? I can't find the book.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I either lent it to someone who did not return it. So if you're listening to the podcast and I lent you the book, you want to return it. So yeah, it was a very good book. I thought she did a very fine job on that book. I think it was her very first book she wrote. So I do want to give a recommendation because I found her way of explaining it was not confusing, and she tied in a lot of personal experiences. So Samantha Fay, Fey, and her book on astral travel. So just going to throw it out there real quick.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I totally forgot she wrote a book on it. So obviously I don't have it.
Yeah, obviously you didn't borrow it.
I didn't borrow it. So anyway, the definition was a subtle counterpart of the physical human body accompanying but not usually separated from it in life and surviving its death. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I was doing that too. I'm like, where are you going, left brain?
Exactly. I was like, that didn't help me at all. All I call it is the soul.
Well, basically, it's when your soul leaves your physical body while you're either asleep or meditating.
Right.
And there's a cord attached to it.
Right.
So it comes back home.
Exactly. So during the astral projection, as you just said, that the astral body leaves the physical body, and this enables your consciousness to enter different astral planes. And the astral planes are a realm of existence. There's the higher dimensions. We've talked about that before. We've talked about the spirit realm, and they operate at a higher frequency than here on Earth. It is a place that is, like I said, built up of many layers. You've got the lower astral plane, you've got a higher astral plane, and all these can be explored while you're doing the astral travel. Now, astral travel, it can happen in a number of different ways. It can be voluntary and it can be involuntary. In the voluntary sense, people approach astral projection with the purpose of creating a space in which they can have that specific out-of-body experience that they would like to try to do. And this is a conscious choice. It can be achieved through practice, lucidity, this clear thought. Certain sleep cycles can get you into the astral projection out-of-body experience. There's certain music, meditation, and other ways that you can have the voluntary out-of-body experience.
Isn't the out-of-body experience a second name for astral projection or astral travel?
It is. It's another name for because that's what you're doing in the astral projection, astral travel. You are literally having an out-of-body experience. That's what it's called, because your soul is leaving your body. That is the point where you've heard I saw myself, I could see myself lying on the hospital bed after an injury,
Right.
something like that. So, well,
A medical emergency.
yeah, that is the involuntary astral projection, is linked to when you have the near-death experiences. Another way is if you're suffering from a serious illness and you're in a coma, or there's trauma, or even hunger or water deprivation. If you got food deprivation and water deprivation, you could have these involuntary moments of astral projection and astral travel. And those are considered involuntary because you weren't planning on having that happen.
Well, what about when you're doing it at night and you didn't realize you're doing it at night?
That could be
Because that's what I was
involuntary.
doing.
Yeah.
I didn't know
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't plan on doing it, but it happens during that REM sleep where a lot of things happen in that REM sleep. So, yeah, I mean, it could even happen while you're dreaming. And then all of a sudden you could do the astral projection and go somewhere else. Because there is a distinction between that and lucid dreaming. And I'll get to that in just a second. Now, some people want to know what does astral projection feel like? It can feel like you're floating, like you're literally floating in the air. That sensation that you're just hanging out above the ground, above the bed, above whatever. And people can take flight. They can walk through walls and even teleport from place to place. Some people have a feeling of experiencing spinning. Now, when they said spinning and rolling in the research that I did, I was thinking, well, I wonder if maybe that was because somebody drank too much, you get that bed spinning, if that's the same kind of spinning.
Must have been some shrooms involved.
No, yeah, I don't know. I mean, because sometimes you feel things spin. Is that the same kind of sensation they were talking about as far as spinning?
Oh, vertigo.
Yeah.
Vertigo can do that too,
Mm-hmm.
which if you have a vibration that is high and it's affecting your equilibrium, I think that probably would give you a spinning phenomena.
Right, the spinning phenomena.
Almost similar to vertigo.
Ah, that makes sense. It gives you a sense that you're moving, but yet your body is still in one spot. It's still, whether you're meditating, sitting up, or you're laying down, or the dreaming, your body is still, but yet you sense like you are. So some people also think that, under misconception, that astral travel is the same as lucid dreaming, and they're not the same thing. And sometimes I think hallucinations are part of astral travel, but it's not. It's all different things. Lucid dreaming and astral travel, they do have some things that are similar, because we talked about lucid dreaming in the dream episode, and the lucid dreams happen when you are asleep and dreaming and you become aware that you are in a dream, which is something that you talk about and have had many experiences with that.
Well, and it's very vivid. It's very, everything is very vivid.
Right.
In that type of kind of dreaming.
Exactly.
Where the astral travel, like for me and my experiences, I'm always working and doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to people. I'm working, but it doesn't look like work, but I'm working. It's always someplace different. And I wake up tired in the morning.
Right.
Because I worked all night.
Exactly.
But there's, and you're probably going to touch on this. I'm sorry if I'm jumping ahead, but sometimes when your soul is coming back into your body, and if it's kind of a rushed or kind of going in for a rough landing, your whole body jerks.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you've ever had that jerking experience in the middle of the night, you may want to think about what were you dreaming about before that happened.
Right, exactly.
Because more than likely you were astral traveling.
Right.
And I've had that numerous occasions where you're jerked awake like that and your whole body shakes, and it's very jarring.
Yeah.
So it must have been a very rough landing.
I've had that happen many times too in my dreams.
It's hard to go back to sleep after that.
Yeah. When it happens to me, I wake up and I have the sleep paralysis as well. It's like I'm still settling into my body, I think, is what happens. So I can't move.
And sleep paralysis is one of the symptoms, I guess you could call it, of astral travel.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
To us.
Okay, so lucid dreams, as we talked about, you can control what's going on in your dreams and what's happening. You're aware that you're awake, or that you're dreaming, not that you're awake. But you may be able to do things like flying and change location and control others' actions, remove or add objects into the dream itself. And that's part of the lucid dreaming, but yet like your sense of smell is not there. The sense of taste is most likely not there. You can't quite really feel things in the lucid dreaming, but it's very vivid. The whole dream experience is very, very, very vivid. And there are actually two kinds of lucid dreaming states. One where you bring consciousness into your dream while sleeping, and the other is where you bring dreaming into your consciousness while awake. And I thought that was really interesting because I don't remember us talking about that when we were researching the lucid dreams. And the most common kind of a lucid dream state is the sleeping kind, of course, and that requires you to be able to, you practice that a lot. You should be able to really have some interesting dreams.
I don't think I've actually really practiced that. It just happened.
Right. It just happens because you've always been doing it, most likely.
And wasn't aware of what I was doing.
Right. And you can put yourself into a lucid dream while you're dreaming. Before you go to bed, prepare yourself to have a lucid dream. I did that.
I know you can do it. You can do it through meditation too.
Right. Exactly.
I've not done it through meditation. But I get enough of it at night. I'm like, I don't need to do that, but okay.
Exactly.
But you can practice it through meditation if you want to experience it.
Yeah, exactly. Which I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. So.
Well, you're the one who told me I was lucid dreaming. I had no idea.
Yeah,
I'm not lucid dreaming, astral travel.
Astral travel. Yeah, but I was talking about lucid dreaming while meditating. Yeah. I don't know if I want to go there yet.
Well, you can also do that with astral travel as well.
Exactly.
Well, with meditation, you could do all sorts of practices like the Akashic records. I mean, accessing that. And there's a lot of things you can do with guided meditation.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But with lucid dreaming, that's where you can decide if you want to participate or not.
Exactly. You can change things in the dream itself. Right. Exactly.
Right. I'm not doing that. No.
Yep. So I went ahead and put together a list of ways to tell whether you're having the astral travel dream or if you're having the lucid dreaming, because like I said, there were some crossovers between the two. So I'll cover the lucid dreaming first. You can control things around you, which is what you said. You often cannot read texts when lucid dreaming, as that part of the brain that normally deciphers texts or what you're reading is less active at this point in time.
I don't think I've ever read anything in my dreams.
I have tried to and couldn't quite see it. I thought it was something I was supposed to be able to see and read, but I couldn't quite do it. Yeah.
I bet that was driving you crazy.
It was driving me bonkers.
I need to see this message.
Something. A third way is you may also lose your sense of smell and other senses, which is what I talked about earlier, or they certainly won't be as sharp as what they were.
So you get COVID in your dream.
Exactly.
Sorry, not funny, but funny. Lost my sense of taste in my dream. I got COVID in my dream.
And you may have a little interaction, or you will control the actions of other entities around you. In other words, you can change things in your dream, but you may not be able to change some things around you in the lucid dream. You can also get out of it if you don't want to interact with it.
Yeah. So if you're not experienced with lucid dreaming, this probably sounds a little far out there.
Right. Or it may ring a bell with you and you didn't realize you were doing it.
Or maybe going, oh, that's what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah. Now with astral projection or astral travel, it starts by consciously leaving the body and seeing the body beneath you. That's when you're doing the one from the meditation. You don't have as much control over the environment or interactions within the environment. You can clearly read and see text. all your senses should still function correctly because this is your soul leaving your body. This is not a dream state that you're in. And entities will react to you, meaning ghosts and spirits and things, other entities could react to you when you're astral projecting because they see you.
Now, you were talking about guided meditation is where you see yourself leaving your body or being above your body.
Yes, but
Because in the sleep version, I've never had that happen.
I have had that happen.
I have not. I just teleport right into work.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm doing.
I've had that too, where I've just appeared in something and then I had the jerking out of body back.
Mm-hmm.
But I have had, and it could have been I was going right in kind of in between that REM sleep and wakefulness, where I have seen myself above my bed and then went flying and stuff. I mean, had crazy, crazy dreams. What I perceived as dreams, but I was flying and going along water and getting my fingers wet, and it was really cool.
So was that lucid dreaming?
No, that was
Astral Travel.
It was Astral Travel because I felt the water on my hands. I felt it.
So you had a Tinkerbell moment.
I had a Tinkerbell moment.
Okay. All right. I'm working all night in my astral travel, and you're like zipping around like Tinkerbell. There's something really wrong here. Left brain is out frolicking, and the right brain is working. Yeah. That's so messed up.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe because left brain needs more of those moments.
Well, that is probably very accurate.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, what I found interesting is that astral travel has been linked, even though it's currently linked to New Age spirituality, it has roots diving way back, which we talk about all the time, how things are back in ancient Egypt and stuff like that. And there were always references to out-of-body experiences bring people back to life and stuff like that. They ended up doing studies on astral projection since it's something that has been around for centuries. And it's so interesting that the CIA even started conducting research in 1983. And I remember this when they started talking about doing this. So they conducted all kinds of studies researching people having these astral projection dreams and such, and their findings were under the banner of the Stargate Project, which was going to be used for military use, of course. So,
of course,
I remember hearing about the Stargate Project. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but if the CIA is doing research on stuff like this, I mean,
but they did a whole research of psychics and trying to manipulate telepathy and such to, obviously work to their advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I could definitely see where the astral travel would also kind of fall into that. Can you travel to this person's mind,
right,
or this situation, and report back what you see?
Exactly. Spy stuff, but I found that very interesting because if the government's interested in that kind of stuff,
well,
gotta mean something.
They now have a department that's in charge of UFOs.
Exactly.
They call it UFOs, but
yeah, exactly. So there are benefits to astral travel. Not only is it an amazing experience with the infinite possibilities involved there, it's also a wonderful adventure that you can be on even in your bed or while meditating. And the other benefits that come from doing the astral travel is so much deeper for the human body. It can help you in so many ways. It helps with anxiety. This can be particularly potent for those who have a fear of death, as the experience of separating from your spirit from your body may make it easier to let go without fear when it comes time to transition. If you're having the out-of-body experiences, then it should help relieve that anxiety to know that there is something else there because you've been there. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It helps with psychological breakthroughs. Visions and vivid dreams and quests can all become clearer when we explore different planes and invite our bodies to stay open to guidance and messages from higher planes. So if you're going to these, doing an astral projection to the higher planes of the spirit realm and such, you can be communicating with other beings there and maybe getting more knowledge and insight on things, like you said, with the Akashic records and such. So there's so much information you could gather from there. And it aids in self-discovery beyond the boundaries of the body and the here and now. By leaning into astral travel discoveries and various spiritual practices, we learn so much about ourselves and the wider universe that we live in. And it also helps to strengthen our psychic abilities. Now, the third eye, wisdom, connections with spirit guides, visionings, having visions, and
Much better.
yeah, thank you. It's like
You're welcome.
it's not coming out. The words I'm wanting to say are not there.
I just want to say my words.
That's all I'm trying to do. And experiencing outer realms, all these things take deep practice. The more you explore your psychic abilities, the stronger they will become. So you can practice your psychic abilities in these other realms as well. And it also promotes spirituality. A spiritual life, of course, it lives a fuller life. And the more you journey and pull back the veil, the more opportunity you have of living a life that is deep and meaningful and authentic to your deeper spirit.
I think you have to be willing to release any fears and accept it, the astral traveling, because it's going to happen regardless. I mean, it happens to me, it happens to you. It's not like I go to bed and going, okay, I'm going to astral travel tonight. It doesn't happen every night for me.
Right.
But I think that the more that you are embracing your spiritual relationship, like you're talking about, the more you're going to enjoy astral traveling, unless you're working all the time.
Right.
Like I am. Working all the time. But I'm doing things to help people. I couldn't tell you what, but I'm doing things to help people. But I find that, and we always go back to journaling. But I mean, don't you think a dream journal is very important, especially if you're astral traveling, to document everything that went on?
Oh, sure. Because you need to be able to reference back to what it was that you experienced there.
And I think the more you do that, the more you're able to maybe navigate the astral plane a little bit more, because you start to realize what you're doing.
Right.
Because I didn't realize what I was doing until you said, well, I listened to this podcast, and with psychic teachers, and they were talking about astral travel, and I'm like, huh? What? Astral what? And so she forwarded me the podcast, and I listened to it, like, oh, yeah, that is what I'm doing at night. Okay.
Yeah, because it started with, yeah, right, Kim.
Yeah.
Sure.
We have a lot of conversations that start with, yeah, right, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
To whoever.
Oh, goodness.
But I think if you do a lot more meditating too, that astral travel probably would come a little easier to you, because you're used to doing, whether it's guided meditation or just regular meditation, silencing your mind. Because, I mean, there are a lot of courses to teach you how to do this in a meditative state. To do the astral travel. Now, I've not tried that. Have you?
No, I have not.
Okay.
No.
Because to me, it's like I'm doing it at night. I don't need to try to do it during the day.
Yeah.
But...
So I found how there are, like you said, different ways to do the astral travel. But I picked up some information from this one website about how they teach people to do the astral travel. And they say astral projecting in a purposeful manner often relies on REM sleep cycles. See, we're talking about the REM sleep cycles. Out-of-body experiences are most likely to occur between the state of sleep and awake, either just before falling asleep or just before waking.
No, don't you believe that in some way it's also tied to when the veil is the thinnest?
It can be, yes.
The veil is the thinnest, like 2 in the morning, 2 to 3, 4. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So moon factors could come into play too, or like because the veil is really thins towards Halloween
Mm-hmm.
area time frame.
Right.
So you're probably more likely to do more astral traveling during that period, perhaps.
I could see that.
Because things are, energy is heightened, the veil's
Mm-hmm.
thinnest,
Mm-hmm.
more entities are being, making themselves be aware and coming to you and stuff.
Right. Exactly. Some of the steps that they recommend is to relax the body and the mind as much as possible. Of course, that's what you have to do anytime you're doing any kind of work like this. And let yourself enter that half sleep state, where you're almost there. And then focus on the mental sensations rather than the physical. Mentally focus on what you're doing there and try and stay hyper aware of environmental vibrations as you go deeper. So, what you're doing is you're trying to raise your vibrations. And then you align your physical body with these vibrations while staying relaxed. You're just kind of aligning things up, and so that you can use the vibrations to jiggle your subtle body or your soul out of your physical. Use your mind to picture clearly, leaving your body one limb or area at a time, and then fine tune your focus on successfully lifting out of your physical body. Now, that's when you're trying to do this right before your sleep.
It sounds like a guided meditation.
Right, right. It's a visualization technique for astral traveling.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you're clairvoyant, that's going to be a very easy exercise for you to do.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
If you're not clairvoyant, you might have trouble relaxing your mind.
Right.
Because you're trying so hard to visualize.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to keep in mind, listeners, that your type of visualization isn't maybe going to see it with your actual eyes. You could feel it, you can imagine it, but you may not actually see it. But doesn't mean it's not happening.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. They said that another visual technique is using the rope technique, which this one I found interesting. I may try this one. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to try it. This is a technique in which you aren't trying to catch yourself within the right REM cycle, but instead you're focusing on visualizing each muscle in the body and entering a vibrational state where every cell is alive and pulsing. Then you visualize a rope hanging above your head that you can climb using your astral body, all the while keeping the physical body relaxed. So you're visualizing yourself grabbing onto that rope and just pulling yourself up out of your body.
Okay. I had a scene from a horror movie pop into my head when you were describing that. Oh. I was just like, what? I was like, what? Sorry. I was like,
I'm not trying to create nightmares here.
No, I'm not doing that. But I get what your more visualization. It was just kind of like the rope dangling over your head. I'm just going, where are we going with this? Like, oh my gosh.
Well, I guess
you're climbing up.
Yeah, you're climbing up pulling yourself up out of your body. I thought it was,
but really, not in a creepy manner, like Carrie said.
No.
I was like, I don't know why, but I was like, no. So that didn't resonate with me.
Exactly.
But let me know how it works out for you.
Yep.
Hopefully I didn't ruin it for you.
So then, of course, like you said, the astral travel music. Now, that might not work for everybody because a lot of times people just start focusing on the music and not really what the task at hand is, and you should look for music that is known for helping you enter a relaxed state. So that's the purpose of is to get you relaxed, not just listening to the music, and calls on sound and rhythm that can help you connect with the vibrations of your environment around you and some kind of the music.
So with because I know there's some music for a higher frequency.
Right.
That's supposed to raise your vibration.
Right.
Are you talking about that kind of music?
Yeah, well, that's where I was going next, is that some kinds of the music may be useful for entering the state that calls on chanting or uses isochronic tones and binaural beats. You know, those
I got nothing. I like where you're going with your beats. Like drumming?
like the drum. Yeah, there's a special name for it, and it's totally left my brain. Anyway, it's music with drumming beats and sounds that you can focus on that, and it raises your vibrations in your body. There's different music like that with instruments and tones that you can that are above your physical listening, but you perceive it. Does that make sense?
So
Like the
subliminally you're hearing it.
subliminal
Yeah.
music, yeah, beats and such, yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So you have to just look for the music that does that for you, and then
And I think with the music, though, I hate to interrupt, but
go ahead.
you know how I am. If you're not used to doing it, it's going to be very distracting at first. So you have to keep cutting yourself some slack.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, just let it go. And because if you're not used to doing it, it can be kind of you're focusing on it too much
Mm-hmm.
instead of just relax and listen.
Right.
So it may take a time or two to get through it.
Yeah, and I try to listen or play that type of music first when I'm trying to meditate, just to get the sense of what I can do while meditating, or is this
It's a
too
good
much of a
idea.
distraction in meditation before I implement it in my sleep music that I listen to.
I did a sleep meditation once, and it got real, calming, very quiet. I'm like, okay. And then they started talking again. It totally I was there.
Yeah.
They started talking and like, well, okay, this is not going to work. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
listening to
yeah,
it before you try it's a good idea.
yeah, yeah.
Kind of get idea what you're getting into.
Yeah, right. You don't want to be trying to sleep, getting almost there like you're describing, and then all of a sudden jarred awake again. You just need to make certain it's something
Right.
that does put you in that relaxed vibrational, raising your vibration kind of feeling that you need to have for it. I also found that astral projection, it's safe, and it can really feel good whenever you're out venturing off into the different planes out there. And patience is key, though, when you're trying to intentionally do the astral projection. You know, it does take practice whenever you're trying to do it.
Like with anything psychic, if you're pushing too hard, it's not going to work
Mm-hmm.
because you're pushing.
Right, you're pushing.
You're not you're not using your abilities. You're not listening to what spirit's telling you because your ego is pushing. Let's do this. I got to get this right. I have to get this. I have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, you do need to be in the special mode. Plus, I mean, I think the techniques you're talking about is really great to help you to learn how to raise your vibration.
Yes, I agree.
Because that's very important psychically to raise your vibration. And so you can communicate on that different plane.
Right. Now, I found that crystals can help you to focus your energies, especially those that are linked to the spiritual chakras, like the third eye and the crown chakra. They can help provide a gateway for accessing inner wisdom and connection. And as we were talking about, relaxation is so important, not just for entering that state of astral projection, but for staying there. Big emotions like feeling scared, stressed, or overly excited, that can land you back in your body in a blink of an eye. And that's when you're pulled down hard and sharp and you hit that hit that bed with
And
a
your body
thud.
jerks.
Yeah, your body jerks. If you want to prepare your body, you can practice meditation so that your body is better equipped to just be in that space, and go with intention. That means exploring for exploring's sake. It's always fun. But if you're out there seeking answers, or looking to deepen your knowledge about yourself, it may help guide your experience if you have an intention before you go doing the astral travel. And then, as with anything, when you're using your psychic abilities or going into these spirit realms and such, I'll always ask for protection before you start.
Absolutely.
Astral travel, it's natural and it's safe, and you may feel disoriented at times, but ask for protection and call in your spirit guides, the ancestors, whomever you look to protect you while you're there.
Well, I think it's a good idea to do that anytime you go to sleep
Mm-hmm.
or anytime you're going to do meditation. Almost said medication. Anytime you do meditation or medication, whatever works for you.
Whatever
But I
works.
mean, yeah, anything you're going to do spiritually, you should do that. If you're going to, like the last episode we did on candle magic, you don't want to do anything without protection.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Smudging your own home, you don't want to do that without protection. So it's very key. Going someplace different and you get that vibe, okay, you're going to need some protection. Whether you want to call on your ancestors, your archangels, whoever, like you said, whoever your deities are, whoever you go to, you can never do it too much.
Oh, I agree.
There's been times when I've gone into work and I've got smudge spray because I can't burn sage at work.
Yeah.
But well, I'll just take it out and start spraying, and I'll hear someone go, "Uh-oh, I hear her spraying."
Yeah, here she goes again.
And then I get that, is it me? Is it because of me? And I'm like, did it burn you? No, we're good. But it's all about my protection, not necessarily someone's been in my space, but I feel the need for some protection, and little frankincense and myrrh spray can go a long way on adding to that.
Right.
So I think before going to bed, you should always do that, especially because in dreams, you are unprotected.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, because that's when entities talk to you.
Yep.
Because you're so shut off during the day that you're not taking any visitors, and so they have no choice but to try to communicate with you when you're asleep, because that's when you are the most receptive.
Right.
Everybody before sleep should ask for protection while sleeping. It's kind of like, when you're growing, when you're a little child, they teach you the prayer that was the rhyme prayer, lay me down before I go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that is in essence a protective dream where you are asking the deities or whoever to protect you.
Right. Exactly.
That is an old, as we mentioned before, things that have been done in the past,
Mm-hmm.
had certain meanings, but that's exactly what that is asking. Because, I mean, think about the words on that. If my soul, it's talking about your soul.
Now I lay me down to sleep. Oh, shoot, I had it in my head.
my soul to keep. If I die before I wake. But think about that. You're a child and you're doing this prayer that you might die before you wake.
Yeah.
But you don't think about the words because you're just repeating what you've been taught to repeat.
Uh-huh.
But that's a perfect example. And we'll have to Google the prayers because obviously we've lost touch with it over the years because we've not done it in a very long time.
Right.
But that shows you where you are actually getting protection before going to sleep.
Right. Exactly.
And when you really think about it, it's got nothing to do with astral travel, is as a child, you're praying, if I die before I wake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's talking about my soul to take.
Right.
And that's really weird.
There are a lot of nursery rhymes and fairy tales and stuff that are weird.
Yes, but I'm going to have to research that and see where that actually derived from.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might be interesting. But I mean, that's things you're taught even as a child, that is to protect your dream state.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a child, you don't know that. You don't know that that's what you're doing.
Right.
But I just thought that was kind of interesting.
I agree.
I squirreled. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Since I brought up the subject of crystals, I did a little research on ones that you could use that can help you with the astral travel. Okay. The first one is blue lace agate. It's beautiful in baby blue shades. This gem invites you to float with the clouds. You use this stone to get you into a meditative state. The calmer you are, the more likely you are to experience this out-of-body adventure. Clear quartz looks like a shooting star of pure light. Place clear quartz under your pillow during sleep and open doorways to divine thinking and deeper consciousness.
Well, I think clear quartz is great for any occasion. So, yes.
Yes.
Perfect for this one.
Yeah. And then there's rose quartz. It's soft in pale pink. So it looks real soft and pale pink and with the mood to match. If you feel like you hold yourself back when it comes to cosmic adventures, or if you dare not delve into that deep state, rose quartz is a gentle reminder to choose love and dreams over fear. So it helps relieve that fear that you might have to try to astral travel.
I think you can also put that under your pillow
Oh,
when you
okay.
go to sleep. Just to kind of help.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Just don't forget it's in your pillowcase or under your pillow, like I've done.
Oh,
But
no.
yeah,
Made it to the wash, huh?
made it to the wash, but not to the dryer. But yeah.
The next one is citrine, golden sunshine, and strokes of pure positivity. Do some meditative practices or a cleansing ritual with citrine before bed or when planning to astral travel so you can be clear and charged and free from bad thoughts. Next one is amethysts, vibrant purple and with mega mystical vibes. Place amethyst under your pillow to prime yourself for a lucid dream event. You can also place it on your forehead or hold an amethyst sphere during meditation for astral projection practices. I don't know, putting one on your head, you put something on your head one time and it just fell right off, didn't it?
Yeah, I was laying down and put it on my forehead, and it abandoned ship. Evidently, I have a round forehead and not a flat one. It did not stay in place.
Didn't stay there, huh?
Did not stay in place.
Okay, the next one is selenite, and it looks like the color of an angel feather. This stone keeps you soaring. See, everything is supposed to help you feel like you're there. And wear selenite to bed so it can protect you while dreaming. This stone surrounds you in a white light that makes it very difficult for any shadow to pass through. So that's that protection stone.
And now selenite is a stone that does not take water well.
Mm-hmm. It's an ite. That's right.
It's an ite, and it's a big ite. That one will dissolve. So if you were to wear it, it's also a fragile stone.
Mm.
So it's not an everyday wear it all day kind of thing. I have a selenite plate next to my bed on the bedside table that I keep there because I put my protective necklace on it at night.
Mm-hmm.
And any jewelry I've worn during the day to charge it, but it's right there by my bedside. I've only I have wire wrap selenite, but you can never clean it.
Mm.
So if the metal tarnishes, hopefully you enjoy it because that's how it is.
Okay.
I've had selenite bead bracelet,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of one of those things where they're fragile.
Right.
So again, it might be something you might want to hold while you're sleeping, and that way if you let it go, it's in the bed somewhere or under your pillow.
Okay.
Well, I'm just giving you the nerdy jewelry part that Carrie likes so much.
I know. That's why I brought this up. Lapis lazuli is a mini swirling cosmo of blue and silver and distant dreams. Place lapis under your pillow or hold it close during your bedtime meditation to tap into the lucid power that awaits you. This gem, it connects to the third eye and the throat chakra, which helps you to tap into the innate knowledge and infinite wisdom and communicate with the universe. So that's kind of an important one to have. Now, hematite looks like a shot with silver and protective powers. Keep hematite close during times of astral travel or surround yourself with this stone during your spiritual practice to keep you safe. So, do you have anything that you would like to add to?
Well, for me, I don't think about all that. It just happens. And I think maybe it could just be happening for a lot of people out there and they just don't understand what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I don't see my body floating above me, and I don't see, I just know that I'm interacting with a lot of people and I'm talking to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sometimes the people I'm talking to are not living.
Right.
And I'm doing some sort of work to help people. So it could be different for other people. These are kind of great examples of what to look for, but don't look to tick every box.
Right.
And if you're one who doesn't remember your dreams at all, then I would recommend, doing the guided meditations and listening to the music you recommended to try to tune your mind to be open to it. Because just because you don't remember your dreams doesn't mean you're not doing it.
Right.
I mean, don't you agree that maybe some sort of, if you can't remember your dreams, everybody dreams. We all dream.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how we work our stuff out. Whether we're doing subconscious dreaming or getting visitations or whatnot, some dreams we do remember. I think some dreams we choose not to remember.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Because we don't understand what just happened. We don't, we don't want to. Someone's going to think I'm cuckoo if I say it. So then, boom, I don't. And then, as the day goes on, you lose more and more of that dream.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you're one who doesn't remember their dreams, which I've had a lot of people tell me that I don't remember my dreams, and I'm like, really? Wow, okay. But we're in different places spiritually.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's not a judgmental thing. It's just with different places, and I'm more open to accepting the dreams for what they are. And you and I both are avid write it down and talk about it later
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing, and try to research the heck out of everything. But if you're not remembering your dreams, then you need to try the guided meditations and see what works for you, and try the music that you suggested to see if you're able to do it in a meditative state.
Right. Yeah. And I think meditating before bed might actually help you with your dreams too. So it's just
And also help you get a good night's sleep.
yeah, that too.
I mean, if you consistently have issues sleeping, try meditating every night before bed. And I mean, lay in bed and meditate. Have everything done that you need to do before you go to bed.
Right.
And then lay in bed and meditate.
Yep.
But I've not had any scary dream situations other than the one where the guy popped in, but that was taken care of. My guides protected me.
Mm-hmm.
When he popped in, the mountain lion showed up and tried to pounce on him and disappeared, and it's never happened again.
Right.
So when you're doing your astral travel, you are protected because the soul is going to do other things. And who knows what prompts that, what instigates that? I have no idea. Astral traveling is nothing to be afraid of. Just like lucid dreaming, you're in control. You can change the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't have nightmares, so I don't know that feeling. I know it's really weird because I know it's supposed to be a common thing to have nightmares, but I don't. I've had dreams that have spiritually shook me up, but I wouldn't term them as nightmares. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But so to me, the dreaming doesn't scare me.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky. Some of us
I
have
know.
had some
I'm sorry.
pretty serious nightmares.
And I don't know why, because I know you've had quite a number of nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. I do have this mentality I've had for a while. Well, I choose not to participate in dreams.
Right.
So that could be my protectiveness, where if I don't like the way the dream is starting, I refuse to participate in it. Obviously, that is not an astral travel dream.
Right.
That's a lucid dream.
Correct.
Because I'm choosing to decide what happens and what doesn't happen in the dream.
Right. Exactly.
So if you're having a nightmare, try to, I know this episode is not on nightmares, but if you're having a nightmare, try that. I'm in control. You're going to go away because I'm in control, or this is not happening. And if your pocketbook goes on the toilet, don't retrieve it. I'm just saying.
That wasn't necessarily a nightmare, but
It would be to me. I got to put my hand where? Not happening.
Oh, goodness. So anyway, astral travel can be very fun and educational. It's just something that does need practice, and you need to be able to relax and calm your mind and focus on the process. And for some, it's going to take practice. It's really going to take practice, practice, practice. And don't forget to write it down when you do have it. And don't be afraid of the sleep paralysis that could happen after you return, because it is scary when it does happen, because you cannot move, you cannot talk, and you're really not certain what's happening because you are waking up from that state. And it's okay. You'll be fine. Just give it a second or two and it'll pass.
What really bothers me more is the hard landing when my body jerks.
Yeah.
That bothers me the most, I think, because now you're wide awake. Okay, well, great.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm
Thank
saying.
you. You know,
When my jerk happens, 9 times out of 10, the sleep paralysis immediately follows.
really, it doesn't for me.
Yeah, but then there's times, like I said, that one time out of 10 where it'll just be the jerk that wakes me up, and then I don't have the sleep paralysis. So
Yeah.
I can't explain the difference why I experience more of the sleep paralysis than not. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But speaking from
Well,
experience, it passes. So it's okay. Just give it a
so
second
if
or
that
two.
happens, you're okay.
That's right.
And just because it didn't happen to me, I mean, it happens to you, and it sounds like a major deal. I mean, I've not had that, but I'm sure that would be scary.
Yeah, it was scary the first several times that it happened. It's like,
Yeah.
So then you just have to slowly breathe. Just slowly breathe. Try to do the meditation breathing, and that will eventually calm you down enough to get settled in your body and be able to move again. Because that's all you're doing is settling back down. In my mind, I'm visualizing it is I'm slamming into the bed and then bouncing before I'm totally settled in my body, and that's why I'm doing the sleep paralysis. That's how my mind is processing that.
Well, that's what works for your mind.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else on astral travel, Kim?
No, sorry, it was boring if it was boring to anybody.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
I go a little too left brain. I know, I get that. Try to make it interesting, but
Well, thank you for doing the astral travel episode, Kim.
yes, you're welcome.
I told you it was your baby, and you ran with it very well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's not always easy, gang, researching for the podcast, because we are looking for things that resonate with us, and sometimes what resonates with me doesn't always resonate with Kim, although usually we're pretty much spot on, but there's occasions where we get different things we vibe with, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Samantha Faye, we get nothing for promoting her book. I just thought it was a very good book. It does talk about her personal struggles and travels, and her life with astral traveling and such. So if you're looking for a book to read on it, that's the only one I can recommend, because that's the only one I've read on
it. Okay.
So there we have it.
Hopefully you get it back.
Hopefully whoever borrowed it will return it. And if you're listening, it's probably a friend or family member. You know
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah.
Put it in the mailbox, in the mail, whatever.
Leave it at my desk. No.
Yeah, whatever. Whoever has it. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, listeners, for listening to this episode of Psychic Bent. Kim, what you got to say there?
Well, if you would like to reach us, you can reach us on Facebook at Psychic Bent Podcast. You can also send us an email at psychicbent1@gmail.com. And like, follow, rate, review, subscribe, wherever you listen to us.
Yes. And we do respond to emails, and we do follow comments that are made on our podcast. Was it Spotify that you were seeing the comments?
No, it was on YouTube.
On YouTube. Yeah.
Well, there have been some on Spotify, and Brittany and your mom. Hi.
Hi. So we appreciate the great feedback that you both left for us.
Yes.
On YouTube. And we do really appreciate that. And we appreciate all of our listeners. You know, we've had some roller coaster rides in the last few months between hurricanes and internet issues and house guests, where it makes it difficult to record a podcast because you can't have everybody be quiet for an hour and a half.
Craft fairs, yes, vendor fairs, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so and we have the holidays, so we just got through Thanksgiving. So thank you so much for your patience, everyone, and we do enjoy putting together the podcast, and we hope you enjoy it as well.
And I just want to say that with Christmas and New Year's coming, we're doing our best to stay caught up on our episodes, but there may come an episode in there a week in there where we may have to take a holiday break because we might not get an episode done. Just preparing people just in case. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll do our best.
So hopefully that's not the case. Unfortunately, I'm the problem child in the group, and Kim's being very nice by not mentioning that, but I do have a full-time job, and then craft show, and then
Life.
I have life, and then the podcast, and the podcast is very important to me and to Kim, but sometimes life gets in the way.
Yes.
And of course, with craft shows and this time of year, my last craft show is this week, so I'll be over that. So
yeah, so
just have special orders to catch up on.
Yeah, so hopefully we stay on schedule, but I just wanted to give everybody a heads up, and we'll put it out there on Facebook and YouTube if we're going to have to skip a week or something, but hopefully not. But if we do, hopefully you'll be there for us when we come back. So
yes, be patient. Yes.
It'll just be a week. So yeah, thank you.
not just 1 week.
Yeah.
One Monday without.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, listeners, thank you so much for all that you've done for us and for listening to us. We really appreciate it. We love y'all. Kim?
I agree. Love y'all.
What she said.
What she said.
All right, listeners, bye.
Bye. May your light shine bright.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast, Psychic Bent. If you enjoyed Psychic Bent, please like, follow, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We can be reached on Facebook at Psychic Bent Podcast. Our email address is psychicbent1@gmail.com. May your light shine bright.